Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trip Tales, the show where we talk about your Disney and Universal vacations. My name is Jamie Lee, and this is episode 91. The Capture the Magic Network is sponsored by Zip Travel, the most magical travel agency on earth. They can help you make memories that will last a lifetime by booking Disney World vacations, but they can book many other destinations for you free of charge, like Universal Orlando, SeaWorld, beach vacations, international destinations, and beyond. So visit vacationwithzip.com to get a free quote, and they will take care of booking your vacation for you. Like I said, free of charge. And if you do book with Zip, you'll receive a little gift from your trip as a thank you for supporting the agency and the network. So take advantage of their knowledge and experience and start the planning process today. Again, that's vacationwithzip.com to get started. Well, welcome everybody. This is Trip Tales, where a new guest every episode talks about the details of their most recent Disney World or Universal Orlando vacation. We talk about things like hotel stays, lightning lanes, cast member interactions, crowd levels, weather, ride experiences, dining, and so much more. And you'll probably hear a thing or two from a guest that you didn't know before and might help you plan your next trip. And I'm always looking for guests for future episodes. So if you'd like to be a guest, you can visit ctmtriptales.com, click on Be on Trip Tales at the top, and fill in as much information as you can about your trip. I am currently working on trying to get all of my guests lined up through the next 6 months. So I am still looking for guests in that time period. So if you've got a trip coming up, go ahead and send the inquiry through the website. You can also email me if you want to at jamie@ctm.show. And I can also get it that way. But yeah, so I'm still looking for guests for the next couple months here into probably not until 2026 yet. You can go ahead and submit it if you want, but I'm not looking that far ahead in the future, just sticking with 2025 so far. And I still plan on doing episodes once a month like I've been doing. May increase in the future, but that's just kind of where I'm at right now. So anyway, so today's trip is it's a little similar to the last one, but it's very different. So this one is Karen and her son doing a 5-night trip at Disney World, and it's during spring break time. And they just do so many rides. It's a very ride focused trip. And so they got some good information about lightning lanes, about, rope drop, early entry, all of that stuff. So this is a good episode if you are really wanting to know about the rides and the lightning lanes and everything. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear this episode with Karen. So I'm going to throw it over to past Jamie and past Karen. And here is that interview. Okay, let's get to my guest today. I am talking to Karen. Welcome to Trip Tales, Karen.
Hi, Jamie. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much. And I always ask my guests, what is one word you would use to describe your trip?
I think I'm going to say recharging. I definitely needed this trip. We haven't been since last summer, and it's been a long, cold winter here up in the Northeast where I'm from. Mm-hmm. And I just really needed some Disney magic. So my son and I booked this trip very last minute, and it really just gave me the energy that I need to kind of get me through the rest of the school year as I'm a preschool teacher into the summer for our next vacation. So I've been recharged with the Disney magic.
I love that. And to be a preschool teacher and needing a break, I get that. I used to be a teacher, so I totally understand.
Yes. I love my job, but it is very draining. So right. Escaping to Disney for a little magic was just what I needed.
That is awesome. Well, tell me some basics of your trip. So what were your trip dates?
Okay, so we left from Hartford, Connecticut on Sunday, April 13th, and we came back on Friday, April 18th.
Okay, and who traveled with you?
So it was myself and my 19-year-old son, Donald, and he really is my Disney partner in crime. We have the best vacations when we go together, so I knew that this was going to be a great trip with just him and I.
That's awesome. And where did you guys stay?
We actually stayed at the Disney All-Star Sports Resort, and this was our first time ever staying at a value resort. We've always stayed moderate and a deluxe a couple of times. And I was pleasantly surprised with everything that the All-Star Resorts offered to us.
Excellent. Good job. All right. Well, what kind of tickets do you guys have?
So we actually, because we booked so last minute, we were able to get that latest deal that Disney dropped with the 3-day ticket. for the one day Epcot, one day Hollywood Studios, one day Animal Kingdom, and then I purchased a one day Magic Kingdom ticket separately.
Gotcha. And I'll ask more questions about that later. Okay. And besides any dining that you did you guys do any extra activities or sit down table service dining?
We did a couple of, we did 2 table service dinings. But we didn't do any tours or events like that or anything like that. We didn't even watch any, really the fireworks shows at the end of the night. This trip was really just kind of about rides and,
yes,
being in the parks for as much time as we could.
I get it. I get that. Yes. And you had mentioned before we started recording, you were able to meet up with some people that you knew from home.
Yes. So I had gotten a call probably back in the beginning of March from one of my best friends from high school, who was going to be going to Disney and Universal with her family for April break. And they just wanted some pointers from me, knowing how much I love Disney. So I was on a call with them and, going over everything, giving them some pointers and advice. And that's when I really got the bug to take this trip. So that our meeting with them and the backstory of me kind of talking to them about their Disney trip was really what pushed me to book this trip for my son and I. And then being able to spend a whole day in Hollywood Studios with them was really one of the highlights of our trip.
Gotcha. That's awesome. I love to hear that. Okay, well, let's start from the very beginning. Let's go back to the 13th and tell me how you got to Orlando.
So we flew. We had a JetBlue flight, and actually our trip started kind of wonky at this point because our original flight was supposed to take off on Sunday evening at 9:19 from Hartford. And at 5:11, I got an email from JetBlue saying that they canceled my flight.
Oh, no.
And I started panicking.
Yeah.
So I had bought the travel insurance, so I was able to kind of go online and try to rebook on my own. And so I started to do that. And the prices kept going up for a flight. There was nothing to take out of Hartford. We were looking at either going out of Providence, Rhode Island, or out of Boston. And every time I went to rebook us on a flight out of one of those 2 cities, the prices kept going up on the flight because they had canceled it. And so now everybody else is trying to rebook themselves.
Yeah.
So it was very frustrating. So I ended up calling an agent, and an agent was helping me. And while I was on the phone with an agent, I got another notification from JetBlue at 6:09 saying that they booked me on a new flight and it was going out that night. So kind of all that worrying was for nothing. But, so from a canceled flight, we were able to actually then get out that night on a new flight out of Hartford. We didn't end up leaving Hartford until about 11:30 p.m. And so we landed about 10:02 in Orlando. And we were picked up. And so we were a little tired. And then we had used the Mears transportation to get us to the hotels. So we were picked up by then about 2:30, and we got to the All-Star Resort about 3 a.m.
Dang. I mean, it is already the next day, and you're like, well,
yes,
guess we'll pay for this night.
Correct. I was like, all right, well, we get up in 3 hours for Animal Kingdom.
Oh, gosh. Oh, all right. Well, so you said that's an ordeal. Okay. So you took Mears from the airport, got in, after 2:30, 3 o'clock, whatever. Okay. Tell me about All Star Sports. You said this was the first time you had stayed in a Value.
Correct.
What did you'd start with the room. What did you think of the room?
So we got in and we were exhausted at this point, and our really only mission was kind of to get to sleep. Yeah. But we turned the lights on, we looked at everything. It was a very cute room. I mean, it's a little bit smaller than what we're used to, but for the 2 of us, it was just fine. Yeah. I've seen a lot of room tours on YouTube, so I kind of knew what to expect as far as what the room looked like. Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised to see that there was a coffee maker because for some reason I thought that those rooms did not have a coffee maker. So I was quite excited to see that the next morning when I was really taking in the room. Yeah. But it was a perfect size just for the 2 of us. And I really loved having the Murphy bed so that the room could kind of be bigger during the day.
Yeah.
And, only needing the Murphy bed down at night. It worked out well for us to have the extra space in the room. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with the All-Star Resorts. The buses were on point. We never had a problem waiting for a bus too long or not getting a bus in time. The food court, we only ate at the food court once, and we had a pretty good meal there. I did do the cup service, so I went to the food court every morning. I would say it was much busier than most food courts that I've been to, in the Disney hotels, early in the morning, but there was never a problem, or we never had to wait too long for anything.
That's good. That's good. You mentioned the refillable mugs. Do you know how much do they run right now?
It was like 22 change. I don't
22.
remember the
Okay, that's what I thought. I don't think
$22.
it's gone up since I last checked, but okay. I just wanted to make sure
and
of that.
And I always struggle with the mugs because I don't know, like, is this a good value or not? And like for me, just to go and get a couple of coffees in the morning, it is well worth it.
I hear you. I hear you. That's cool. Okay. All right. So you got in, you crashed, got up. What time did you get up the next morning on the 14th?
I had my alarm set for 5 a.m.
Oh!
But I think I snoozed it a few times, so I got up at like 10 after 6.
Okay.
We just made the coffee in the room that morning, and we had brought some protein bars with us. So like we got showered, dressed, and ready, ate our protein bars on the way to the bus, and we were we left our room at 6:45, and the bus was waiting for us when we got there. We were like the last two on the bus, and then we were off to the Animal Kingdom. And luckily, the Animal Kingdom is quite a short ride from the All-Star Resort.
Yeah.
So, we quickly got into Animal Kingdom. No problem going through security. I didn't get back checked or anything.
Oh,
and
okay.
We went right to rope drop flight of passage that morning.
Okay. And so rope drop or early entry was 7:30?
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, cool. So since you had just done this, and I know some people are be curious about rope drop right now at Animal Kingdom, is it pretty much like it always has been, where you basically have like this whole group of people that go toward Pandora, and they kind of hold you at the
So we had, by the time we had gotten there, they weren't holding anymore.
Okay.
And it wasn't really as busy as I'm used to rope drop being for Pandora. Because we just walked, and we were not really in a big crowd of people as we were walking towards the Flight of Passage ride. And it wasn't probably until we got right to kind of like the bridge that we had to stop. Okay.
That figures. So how long did you end up waiting for Flight of Passage?
So I have in my notes that we entered the line at about 7:25, and we got to the pre-show at 8:04.
Okay.
And it was a posted 55-minute wait, so it wasn't quite as long as it was posted.
Okay. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all.
No.
Okay, so obviously you had done that before, so you don't have to review that.
Yeah, we've done that before. So.
Okay.
But, it's always one of our favorites, and to me, it's always a great way to start the trip because, like, that invigorating feeling of, like, the wind blowing and all that. So it was a fun way to start our trip.
That's awesome. Okay, so what'd you do after that?
So after that, we were kind of hungry, so we found our favorite breakfast sandwich, which we were on our way to Expedition Everest, and I think it was at Drinkawalla. They had that, it's like a stuffed pancake sandwich that they have. So it's a stuffed pancake, and it has a sausage patty inside and cheese and like this guava paste. And like we had it on our previous trip, and it was just so good that my son, the whole time, he's like, "We're gonna get that sandwich at Animal Kingdom, right? We're gonna get that sandwich at Animal Kingdom, right?" So luckily, we did find it. We found it on our way to Expedition Everest, and we shared it. And as we walked over to Expedition Everest,
okay,
and it was just as good as we always remember it to be.
Yeah, you're saying a lot of like great things to my brain, like pancakes, sausage, stuffed sandwich. I'm like, oh, I need to try this now because I don't think I've ever tried this before. This sounds great.
Oh, yeah. So they sell it there. I think they might sell it at the Pangu Pangu over in Pandora, but that was not open the morning that we rope dropped there.
Okay.
And also I saw it at Thirsty River.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm going to write this down. That sounds great. All right. So you ate that on the way to Everest?
Yeah. So we ate that on our way to Everest. And then when we got to Everest, the standby was for 20 minutes. And we got there at about 8:37. We walked through the line, and I have in my notes that we boarded it by 8:53. And that's one of our favorite rides. So we were more than happy to start, have that under our belt pretty early in the morning.
For sure. Did you guys have Lightning Lane this day or no?
We did have Lightning Lanes that day, but we just did this one standby because our Lightning Lane for it was later in the day.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, did Everest, and what did you do after that?
So then we headed to Dinosaur. We did not have a Lightning Lane for this one either. And it was a posted 10-minute wait at 9:03. And I think it says that we walked into the pre-show at 9:05. So that was very quick to get on as well.
Gotcha.
And so we did Dinosaur. And then by then it was time for our Safari Lightning Lane, which was at 9:40. So we headed over to Africa. and we got in line for the safari, and we were boarded that by 9:51. And it was a really cute, it was a great ride. We saw the new baby giraffe,
Yay!
so that was exciting. And there was also a baby elephant that was out there, so we got to see her as well. So it was nice to see the little baby elephants. The lions were out. They were just kind of lounging around, but we saw a good amount of animals.
That's good.
So it was a good little safari ride.
That's good. No holdups. Nobody in the walkway.
No holdup. No. It was pretty, good pace, and it was a good time.
Well, good. Okay. What'd you do after the safari?
So after the safari, my son was starting to get a little bit hungry. So it looks like we stopped at the Thule Canteen, and we had ordered the ocean. I did a mobile order. We ordered the Ocean Moon Bowl, which was excellent. It was like blue noodles and fresh tuna with I forget what kind of sauce. It was very delicious. And so we split that, and we also split an order of the cheeseburger pods, which are some of our favorites. Yes. So we had that for lunch. And then by then I guess it was an early lunch, because it looks like after that we buzzed into our Expedition Everest Lightning Lane for that point at 11:07, and it says that we were in our ride by 11:10. Okay. So we got to do that again, which is awesome because, like I said, that's one of our favorite roller coasters on property. So yes, we always love doing that one. And then after that, it looks like we needed a little bit of a rest, so we did the Gorilla Falls Trail. Okay. It was super busy though. There was a ton of people on it, and there was a lot of families with young kids. And I was like, I'm gonna let the little kids see the animals. Like, we're having a grand old time here. So like we just kind of walked through it pretty quickly, and then we really didn't have much planned before our next lightning lane. So we decided to take a train ride over to the Rafiki Planet Watch, the conservation station over there. And that was really fun because like I hadn't done that probably in about 21 years. Like I'd never done it with my son Donald. He was never really interested in doing that. So it was kind of cute to like make our way back there, and we did a little petting zoo. We got to like pet the goats. Yeah. Which was cute. We didn't do the animation thing because like we didn't really want to kind of waste the time doing that. But it was really cute to go and pet the goats and whatnot. So
was it pretty busy over there?
There was a few people there. I wouldn't say it was like overwhelmingly busy, but there was definitely always like a goat available for us to pet and kind of, look around. So yeah. And then we saw the big they have some kind of lizard, the water monitor lizard, I think it is. That was over there, and there was also a big, I don't know if it was a python or a boa constrictor, was kind of in one of the glass tanks as well. And we didn't go check out like the hostel area or anything like that. But we did the petting zoo, and then we took the train back over to the main part of the park, and it looks like we got back there about 12:15. Okay. And we needed some caffeine at this point because, our night was our morning was very early, I guess, after a very late night. So we stopped at Starbucks, and we each got a little bit of a much needed caffeine fix. Yes. And we kind of just wandered around the park. We went behind the Tree of Life and took some pictures and just kind of walked around the park, taking in all the sights until it was time for our Navi River Journey Lightning Lane. And that was actually the longest line I've ever seen for that lightning lane. It looked like we had scanned in at about 1:05, and we didn't board that until 1:12. So I felt like 7 minutes was quite a while for a lightning lane for that. But I mean, it was fine. It was fine. And it's such a peaceful ride. Like know it's nothing exciting, but it's just a peaceful ride in there. It's very chill. It's very cool down a little bit. Yeah. Yes. So we always like seeing the big animatronics. So.
Oh yeah. Was it working? Was it working?
It was working. That was my son was like, I don't know if she's going to be working. Yes, she was. Lo and behold, she was working.
Yay. That's good. Very good. Okay, so you've done 3 of your lightning lanes. Were you getting more as you were going, or?
So we ended up getting another one for dinosaur later in the day.
Gotcha. Okay.
So our plan was after we did the Navi River Journey, we were going to kind of go back to our hotel, rest a little bit, and then go back to Animal Kingdom for a little bit before heading to Disney Springs for the night. Gotcha. So yeah, at that point we went back to our room. We both kind of rested for about an hour, and then we got up. my son was hungry again, teenage boy.
Right.
So we went over to the food court and grabbed a quick bite to eat. He had ordered the chicken tenders, which he said were, good for what they were, chicken tenders.
Right.
And I had gotten the Mediterranean chickpea salad, which was kind of like in the grab and go section.
Uh-huh.
It was very tasty. It had like a good curry taste to it, I believe. It was good. My only complaint about that was that they had like pita triangles in it, and they were very soggy from like being in the salad. So kind of wish that they were like wrapped a little bit separately, but it was still very enjoyable. It was tasty, and it gave me, a bit of protein that I needed to get me through the rest of my afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. I can imagine I would be dragging by then. I would like an hour break, give me 4,
Yeah, well, we're in Disney. We have to take it all in while we're there. We'll sleep when we get home is always our motto.
I get it. So when did you get back to Animal Kingdom?
So, well, after we ate lunch, we actually decided to take a walk and check out like All-Star Music.
Oh, okay.
Just to like kind of see like my son and husband are very musical, so we wanted to see like all like the guitars and like all the musical decorations in the outside the resort. So we walked over there and we took some pictures, and then we went back to our room, dropped off our refillable mugs that we had gotten when we went for lunch, and then we took the bus and we went back to Animal Kingdom, and looks like we went back into the Animal Kingdom about 4:30, and the only thing we did was we used our lightning lane for Dinosaur. We really just wanted to get one more time with that ride in case we don't come back later in the summer before they close it down.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, so we did Dinosaur, and then my son was ready for his first Mickey ice cream sandwich of the trip, so we got that and a Diet Coke on our way out, and then we went to the buses, and we took a bus actually to Saratoga Springs, and then we walked from Saratoga Springs over to Disney Springs.
And why did you do that?
Because I don't believe that you can get a bus from Animal Kingdom to Disney Springs.
I think you can. I think it's after 4.
Oh, so I looked. I couldn't see it on the board.
It wasn't on the board?
See it on the board.
Okay.
No.
Maybe they weren't offering it. Okay.
So I said, well, you know what? We can walk there from Saratoga Springs.
Exactly.
And we always kind of like to check out some resorts while we're there. And that's one that I have never been to. So it was nice to just kind of walk through it and check it out a little bit on our little stroll into Disney Springs.
And I'll say that walk along the water from Saratoga to Disney Springs it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's peaceful. The weather was gorgeous. It was like mid-80s throughout our whole trip, and like from the Northeast, it was cold and dreary when we left here. Like the week leading up to our trip, it was just like rainy every day and like not even breaking the 40s. So just to be down there in the sunshine, like, and the warm weather, I was like, I'll walk anywhere just to like be in this weather, getting some sun. So it was the walk was really nice.
Good.
And, it helped us digest our lunch, and then before we were ready for our next meal.
That's what you do. You walk until you're hungry, you eat, and then you walk some more until you're hungry again. That's Disney.
That was pretty much our trip.
All right. So, in Disney Springs, what was the plan here besides, getting things to eat?
So it was mostly just like, going to the shops and stuff. So because we went in through like, I think that's the marketplace area, correct? Like when you walk in through Saratoga Springs.
Yeah.
So we went straight to the co-op. We walked around the co-op. They used to have like a pet section because we were looking for stuff to bring back to our cat and dog, but I couldn't find any of the pet stuff. My son kind of perused like the technology store for a little while. And then we made our way over to the World of Disney store, kind of looked around there a little bit. My son was looking for shirts because he misjudged his packing, and once we got there he realized he didn't pack enough shirts. So every day was on a search for a shirt for the next day. So we did the World of Disney store, then we made our way over to the west side. We went to Disney Style store. He didn't really see anything that he wanted there, but he was turning to get hungry again. So we tried Deluxe Burger, which I'd never tried before. And we were it was good. We enjoyed it. My son had the buffalo chicken sandwich, which he said was absolutely phenomenal. He loves buffalo chicken.
Yeah.
And I had ordered the classic cheeseburger, and like it was good. I mean, it was a basic, decent burger. The fries were huge. We ordered just one large fry to share. And like, I was quite taken aback when it came of how large it was. I was like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of fries. We definitely put them away. We had no problem eating them, but it was definitely a lot. And next time I would probably definitely go with like just the regular size.
Yeah.
But, it was a good value for however much they were. It was definitely a lot of fries.
That's good.
Yeah, and they were tasty. Then after that, we just kind of walked around a little bit more. I wanted to go to the Savannah Bee Company because they have a certain lotion that I really like to use there. And I was out of it at home, which was one of the reasons I told my husband I really needed this Disney trip because I had to go stock up on my lotion from the Savannah Bee Company.
Oh,
even though I can order it on Amazon anytime, but I just needed to go to Disney so I could get this lotion.
you know what though? When you said your son didn't pack enough shirts, I was like, did he do that on purpose so he could get more shirts? No, I'm just kidding.
It might have been a little half and half.
You know what? Whatever gets him a little more Disney merch makes him happy, right?
Yes, exactly. And then after that, like it was really starting to get busy. So we decided that we were tired and we'd had a pretty full day. So we decided to call it a night and we went back to All Star Sports to get a good night's sleep before our next day.
Gotcha. So what time was this about?
I didn't mark it down. It was not dark yet, though, so I would say it was probably like 7:30, 7:30, because it was still daylight by the time we got back to the hotel.
Gotcha. Yeah, you guys must have been exhausted, so I can only imagine.
It was a long day, so definitely we were ready. We got back to the hotel, we each took our showers, and then I was passed out pretty quickly after hitting the pillow.
Oh, there's no tired like Disney tired.
Exactly.
All right. So, okay, that was Monday. That was a good day. Very long, but it's a great day.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's the 15th on Tuesday. So, what park day was this?
So this day was going to be our Epcot day.
Epcot.
So I got up a little bit earlier than my son. I probably got up about 6, and I took a walk back to the All-Star Music area. Because I think the first day we really looked at the All-Star Movies area, I was mistaken. And then the second morning I went by myself was when I went to the All-Star Music area and was taking a lot of pictures. And I had called my husband for to check in with him, see how the pets were doing and everything. And I remembered telling him, oh, you should see this because he's a guitar player. He's a music teacher. He's very into music. Uh-huh. So I was taking pictures of all of the big instruments and sending it to him. I was like, he would love this, seeing the resort. So I did that in the morning, checked in at home, did my little walk, then went back. My son was getting ready, and then we headed to Epcot. It looks like the bus was there when we approached the waiting area, and the bus pulled out at 7:50. Okay. And so we got over to Epcot. We, again, it was very easy. I did not get stopped by security one time this whole trip, which was great for the bag search. Nice. Because usually I always get stopped for something, but no stops this trip. Straight through security, and then we rope dropped Guardians for that morning.
Okay, so please tell me how that went, because this is fairly new. And I know there's a lot of people are probably still curious about how it works. So what time did you, so tell me where you line up, how, what time that happens, if you were all this down, if you remember.
So we were held in the area, that little breezeway between the Connections Eatery and the Creation Shop. That's where they had the rope drop area was. Okay. So we were probably, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of the way back from the beginning of that. Okay. And then they just kind of walked us straight to the left side of the pavilion. They had the stroller parking. They were directing people with the strollers. And then they had the roped off queue on the left side of the pavilion leading into the building.
Okay. Gotcha. And so by the time you were from the breezeway, let's say the time of the breezeway to the time you got on the ride. Or the first pre-show, at least.
So it looks like we boarded our vehicle at 9:05 is what I wrote down. And so, rope drop was at 8:30, so it was about a 35-minute wait for us.
Hey, that's not bad at all.
No, it was not bad at all, because that was obviously the lowest it was all day. And it did break, it was down for quite a while during the day, so the waits at night were pretty high.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And even at night, at park closed, it was still 80 minutes because we considered at the end of the night going on it again before we went back to the hotel. And by the end of the night, I was spent. I was like, sorry, buddy, I am not doing that again tonight because I was not ready to wait. It probably wouldn't have been 80 minutes, but even the thought of it, I was just no, I'm good.
Yeah, you're I've been there, done that. Right.
Yeah. So, that was a great ride. That's always one of our favorites. And we've got Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I love that song.
Yes.
So I was very excited. My son was really wanting September. but we
Also a
got
good one.
everyone.
I love that one
Yeah,
too.
so
Yeah.
two of our favorites. We always get one way or another. I feel like so
Okay.
I was happy to get Everyone Wants to Rule the World because it gives it a nice little tempo to the ride. Like you kind of
Yeah.
sit back a little bit and enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so after Guardians, how did you do
So
spend the rest of the
then
day?
we stopped over at I it must have been we went to Creations and we picked up
Okay.
the scavenger map for like the Chip no what's his name, not Chip the Bee, Spike the Bee, the
Uh-huh.
Spike the Bee scavenger hunt. So we went and we got that, and then we headed over to Soren because we had a lightning lane. So we scanned in at 9:30 for a lightning lane for that, and we were in our seats. I broke down at 9:42.
Okay.
And so I had heard that it's a new version, like the film, that like it's not as bendy anymore. But we were actually in B, so I didn't get to quite test that theory to see if like the Eiffel Tower was as bendy if we were in A or C. But
Gotcha.
luckily we were in B, so it was still pretty straight.
Good.
So I wanted to do it again to like see if I can get a different area to see if they in fact did change the film, but it looks pretty similar to the last time I was there, so I couldn't really tell. But after that, we were wanting to try the carrot cake liege waffle that was part of the Flower and Garden Festival offerings.
Uh-huh.
So we went over to the Connections Eatery, and I didn't realize that it didn't open till 11. So and at that point it was still early. It was like 9:42. So my son was like, "I need something sweet." So he went to the Joffrey's coffee stand that's outside of Guardians, and he got himself just a donut. And then we kind of walked around while he ate that, and then we went back to the land because we had a Living with the Land lightning lane, and that had a really long wait at that point. And
Really?
I think we scanned in it. Yeah, I think it was a 35-minute wait. I mean, it's April vacation, so parks were very busy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad we have this lightning lane. So,
Yeah.
and even with the lightning lane, I think we waited about 7 minutes before we got into a boat.
Okay.
Which is long for Living with the Land.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty long.
Yeah. And like we did that. I love that ride. There was a couple of cute nods. So like, there was a Beauty and the Beast little display in there, and there was a Tangled display, which was fun to see, and a Moana display. So it's cute to see all the little different things they had, within the greenhouses.
Yeah.
And then after that, it looks like we went into Communicore Hall and to see like the Spike Topiary, and that was super cute.
Uh-huh.
And then we grabbed some of the conch fritters and the watermelon beer from the food booth that's right outside Communicore Hall, and I forget which one that was. Is that
Festival of Favorites is usually what it is, but it's called something
not
else.
the one inside, but it's the one on the outside.
Yes. What's that one called?
Which one it was?
Is it the Florida Fresh? Is that what the one? Florida Fresh?
It might be.
I can't remember anymore. It's been too long.
I don't know. We got the conch fritters, which were super tasty. They were a little salty, but they were good, and the dipping sauce was excellent.
Yes.
And I tried the watermelon lager, and it was nice and refreshing. I'm not a huge beer drinker, but I just ordered like the 5-ounce pour, and it was tasty. It was very refreshing. So
nice.
And because it was hot out, so
yeah,
it definitely hit the spot. And then after that, the Connections Eatery was open, so we went and we got the carrot cake liege waffle. And I also ordered the watermelon mint agua fresca drink that they have there, and it was delicious. It was very refreshing. In the heat of the day, it was very good.
So,
the waffle was okay. Like it was. I don't think I quite understood that liege waffles were as dense as they are.
Right.
It was tasty. It didn't feel as fresh as I thought it would, but it was still tasty, and we devoured it. So
right, that's my main complaint.
No
for those
complaints
two.
from us.
Well, yeah, like that they're packaged and they're made like way ahead of time. I was like, I don't like that vibe. You know what I mean? I want fresh, man. But you're a big fan of watermelon. I'm getting.
I guess I am. It's funny because I don't really eat the fruit. All the melons, I would say it's not my favorite. I think honeydew is my favorite melon.
Uh-huh.
But, when it's hot and like those was appealing to me, I guess.
That's just funny that you had 2 watermelon drinks like back to back. I was like, she must love watermelon. Okay, so moving on to the next thing. So what'd you do after that?
So after that, we had a lightning lane for Spaceship Earth. And that line was forever. And we scanned for 11:29, and we didn't board until 11:47. So that was like a
Whoa.
19-minute waiting for a lightning lane for Spaceship Earth.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
Yes, the
that's a
park was
lot.
packed. Yes. And it like we were moving steady the whole time, so I don't think like there was any issues with it stopping.
Uh-huh.
And even when we were riding it, I think it only stopped once, which we've been on rides of Spaceship Earth where it stops frequently.
Uh-huh.
So it was riding pretty well that day. And,
That's
we
good.
love Spaceship Earth. Usually like a lot of times I'll try to make Epcot my first park. Like even if we get there like midday, like I always go to Epcot for the afternoon. Because like Spaceship Earth and then smelling like Rome burning to me is like, oh, my Disney vacation has started. So
Oh.
we were happy to get in Spaceship Earth. And I think the one place it did stop was in the Rome burning section. So my son and I were quite excited that we got to like take in the sense of Rome burning and for a few seconds extra.
I love that.
Before we finished the ride.
Yeah, that I like that part too because it feels like it's like a transition between like a different like section of our history. You know what I mean? It's like remembering and then
to the next era.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so after that, what'd you do?
So after that, we were ready to head over to the World Showcase, and we had a lunch reservation at the San Angel Inn. We had about 30 minutes before our reservation, so we went on the Grand Fiesta Tour, which like I absolutely love. It's probably one of my favorite rides in the park. It's so cute. Donald is one of my favorite characters. And I just like the Mexico Pavilion is my favorite pavilion in the World Showcase. So like we got in line for that. And that was also a pretty long wait. Like the queue was wrapped up like into like the, like the village part of the pavilion.
Yeah.
For a couple of like wraps around. But like, I think probably 7 minutes we were in line for that.
Have you seen the Grand Fiesta Tour ears?
I bought them.
You bought them?
Yes, I did. So that was after the tour. We had probably like 10, like I checked in for our reservation as we were waiting for it. We did some shopping and I saw those ears and I immediately bought them. I was like, oh my goodness, I need these.
Whenever you said you loved it, I was like, oh, she's got to get those ears then. She's got to get those ears.
Yes, I did. And
That's
my
awesome.
son was wearing, that was like one of the shirts he actually brought from home was his Three Caballero shirt. So he was wearing his shirt and I had on my ears.
Oh,
I felt like we were matching.
Oh, that's so
and my
cute.
son picked up, and then he also picked up a La Cava sweatshirt that was there. Because originally, like, we love La Cava de Tequila, like, to go in, because I love, like, the queso dip that they have there.
Yes.
And they have, obviously, like, the avocado margarita is one of my favorites. And so, like, our plan originally was like, oh, we'll just go to La Cava. We won't make a reservation. And then I was like, it's April break. Like, I don't want to be waiting in line for, like, an hour for La Cava just to go in there and have drinks, a drink and chips and dip. Right. So I said, let's just make a reservation for San Angel Inn. They have it's the exact same queso dip that they serve at La Cava. So that's what we did. So we had lunch there, and we just ordered a couple of appetizers and a dessert. And I had a drink, and he had a mocktail.
What appetizers did you get there?
So we got the totopos, which is like the queso dip and the salsa, and then we also got it was called the quesadilla de mercado, and that was excellent. It was like a quesadilla and it had chorizo in it and cheese. It was very tasty. And my son he had the Menta Rosa for a mocktail. I don't quite recall what was in that, and I had the Paloma. I decided to switch it up from like the avocado margarita. I was like, oh, let me try this while I'm here.
Nice.
And then we ordered a dessert. It was like a tres leches dessert with tres leches soaked cornbread and a sweet corn gelato. And I love like corn flavor things. And I also love tres leches cake. So like as soon as I saw that in the menu, I was like, oh, we have to try that. And it was delicious. It was actually probably one of my favorite desserts that we had the whole trip.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it was really good. I would highly recommend, like, if you're into like corn flavored things, that it was definitely tasty.
Okay.
And then after that, after we left the Mexico Pavilion, the World Showcase, it was mobbed. There was so many people, and it was really starting to get hot out.
Yeah.
So we started walking like towards France, and it was just busy, and my son was like, do you want to hop on the Skyliner and take a break? So we did. So we left Epcot through like the International Gateway. We hopped on the Skyliner, and we didn't really know where we were going. So I said to him, you want to go check out Art of Animation and Pop Century? Because I felt like this was like our check out the Value Resorts trip, since like we were staying in a Value Resort. And like a lot of times when we go for the holidays and we resort hop, we've never gone to those because like I want to go see like the holiday decorations and some of the other ones. So I was like, let's take this chance So we did. Got off at Art of Animation, and we went and we explored there and took a bunch of pictures of all of like the statues outside and everything, and just kind of
Uh-huh.
checked it out. We went into their looked at the lobby. I wanted to kind of see all the sketches that they had in the
Uh-huh.
lobby, and we went and checked out the gift shop and was getting a little thirsty, so we went into the gift shop and got like a vitamin water. And then we made our way back to the Skyliner, and before we went back to Epcot, we stopped at the Riviera. Um, last time we were at the Riviera, my son had seen these plushes of like, I think then they had Mickey, Minnie, and Daisy, and they didn't have Donald, but they're all in like their Topolino costumes, like the little art
Oh.
costumes.
Uh-huh.
And so my son's name is Donald, so
Uh-huh.
he was like, "Oh, I want to stop and see if they have the Donald one this time." So we got off at Riviera. We went up to the gift shop. I just kind of sat out on the couches. I was like, I need a break, so I sat on the couches, and he went and did a little shopping. But they did not have the Donald plush either. I think he said
Oh.
this time they only had Mickey and Minnie. So I think we're gonna keep going there every time we go
Just
until we
keep
can
checking.
find this Topolino plush. But
Aw.
they're super cute because like I love the Topolino outfits that they wear
Yes.
for the breakfast. So
Yeah. I love
it's
they're very
cute to have.
like unique because I mean
Yeah.
you can see Mickey and Minnie in like their regular dress like anytime in the parks and stuff, but
Mhm.
to get them in their because like what is it? It's Mickey is the painter?
So I think he's a painter. Donald is a
Sculptor.
Minnie's the writer. And
Yes.
Daisy is a dancer.
That's it. Thank you. Yes. That I love him. I love him. The dancer, the Daisy dancer thing, like tickles my daughter because she loves she's dancer. So
yeah, and I love the color of her outfit, like the teals and the pinks. It's just so cute.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So after that, we hopped back on the Skyliner and we went back to Epcot. And we worked on a scavenger hunt a bit. And then while we were doing that, we stopped at the Regal Eagle, and my son got a mocktail. I don't remember what he had. Oh, it was a berry sparkler, and I had the frozen mint julep. And then we walked around for a little bit. We were just kind of hopping in and out of the pavilions. My son at this point was ready for another sweet treat, so we mobile ordered the caramel butter bar from the caramel shop in Germany.
Caramel Cucci?
Yes, it was very rich.
Yes.
It was tasty. I'm glad we just split it. It was definitely, but it was very good. It was very sweet. But we've always wanted to try that, so we were happy to try that. And then it was kind of just more of like going in and out of the pavilions. I really love the World Showcase, so I'll like bask in, like insist in my time and being there, and just we were taking pictures of the topiaries and just kind of going into the shops and everything. And then let's see, it looks like we went back towards Future World. I forget why we went to Future World. Oh, we had to find the topiaries like at the front of the park for the spike challenge, and we my son was getting hungry quite again, so we went into Sunshine. Like it's funny when we're home, like he watches everything that he eats. Like he's very health conscious, and we went to Disney. He's like, "Mom, like the sky's the limit. I'm like eating everything I want to eat on this trip," and I was like, "That's fine. Like I will feed you as much as you want to eat."
That's so funny.
Yeah. So when we got there, like I was not hungry at all, but he had like a roasted turkey BLT wrap, and he said it was really tasty. And then after that, we kind of went back towards the World Showcase, continued. I think we finished the scavenger hunt, and then we really wanted to go to the France food booth. And we got the goat cheese croissant and the duck confit gnocchi, and they were both fabulous. Like France is always one of our favorite spots for the festival. Like they're always spot on, and both of these like meals, they were both very rich, but they were both so delicious. The duck on the gnocchi was delicious.
Oh yeah, I've had that
rich,
before. It's good.
It was buttery. Yeah, we really enjoyed that.
How were the lines? Like, was it pretty busy over there?
France had no line. We walked right up.
Really?
I was shocked because like on our way, I was like, we're going to be waiting in line forever for these. And we got there, and like each of the registers had one person at it, and like we were the first person to like walk into like to wait.
Wow.
So I was very pleasantly surprised by that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was good. And then we decided that to go for Frozen. I could not get a lightning lane for it. Like usually in the summer, like I'll always like start my lightning lanes in the front of the park, and I'll always like try to like fiddle faddle for like a Frozen and a Remy's. And I could not get a Frozen one that like none of them became available. So we decided it was just going to wait in the standby line because like we love Frozen. We love the music from that ride, and so it was just a must do for us. So it looks like it was listed as a 45-minute wait, and it was pretty much a 45-minute wait. Because it says that we got in line at 6:55 and we boarded at 7:40.
Gotcha. Okay.
And before we did that, we also went to the cafe there. Forget the Kringala Oak Cafe, and my son ordered the school bread. So he ate the school bread while we were in line for Frozen. And then after Frozen, we made our way back to Future World. My son made himself a lightning lane for Mission Space. I think he said this was his 17th trip, and he'd never done Mission Space because I refused to do it. So he's like, I'm going to do it. He's like, it can't be that bad. He's like, I think you're just being dramatic. I'm sure it's fine. I was like, you do you, buddy. I made a lightning lane for Figment. I went and hung out with Figment. And then we met up afterwards, and he was like, that was horrible. That was the absolutely worst thing I've ever did. I can't believe you let me do that.
You were like, I told you.
He's like, I'm never doing that again. I was like, okay. Yeah, so next time you can come on Figment with me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I had a great time at Figment. And then we met up back at the Creation Shop. And he bought himself a shirt for the next day, and I bought myself an Epcot Spirit jersey. And then we were and like I said, we were contemplating going back and waiting in line for Guardians to end our day. And I was just beat by the end of the day. I was like, buddy, I just got to go. Yeah. So we ended up, and it was dark by this point. And it was past like the firework time. I think fireworks were started. So it was after 9. And by the time we left there, and then, so we went back and just kind of, again, took our showers and went to bed and got ready for the next day.
Just back to your hotel.
So that was the end of our Epcot day.
Seriously. And like the way so far, the way you've done your trip, like I think a value is just perfect because you're not spending much time at the hotel. You don't need all the amenities. You just need somewhere to sleep.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. We needed a place to rest our head and a place to take our showers.
Yep.
So we were happy to, the All-Stars gave us exactly what we needed. Now, and when we go with my husband, we're 3 adults, so I think that room might have been just too small for us.
Yeah.
So that's usually when we'll stay in a moderate. But yeah, it was perfect for what we needed it for.
That's awesome.
We zigzag a lot through the park. So we were getting so many steps in. I think Monday, so like our Animal Kingdom day, I had gotten like 37,000 steps in. And then on our Epcot day with going to like the Art of Animation, I had over 41,000 steps for the day.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that was a lot of walking. So we were definitely tired.
I bet your dogs were barking.
Yeah. Actually, I brought 2 really good pairs of sneakers, and I rotate, I switched them out every other day.
Yes.
So I will say that my feet were not too bad.
That is such a good idea, too. I always forget about that. I'm like, yes, switch out your shoes, rotate your shoes. That's the best thing for your feet, especially at Disney, man, with all the walking.
Yeah. I don't think I could go with just one pair of sneakers because I always have to especially we go a lot in the summer too when we tend to get a lot more rain. So I always need that one pair that I got wet to dry off during the day for the next day. So, I was happy to have that. So then the next day was our Hollywood Studios day. Okay. And I think I must have slept a little bit later that day. I don't remember going to do a walk over to any of the other All-Star resorts. I just kind of got up. I think I went and got my coffee, and then we it looks like we boarded the bus at about 7:45, and we got to the studios at just before 8 o'clock. And so that was the day that we were meeting up with my friends from back home. So they were getting off of their bus as we were going waiting in line, and we met up with them right kind of when you walk in at the Crossroads little statue. Yeah. At that little gift shop where they sell sunglasses and stuff. So we met up with them, and we just did a quick hello because they were not staying on site, so their lightning lane selections were a little bit different than ours. So we were rope dropping Sunset Boulevard, and they were going to rope drop Slinky Dog Dash. So they went to Slinky Dog Dash, we went into Sunset, and then after that so my son and I, we did Rock and Roller Coaster, we rope dropped that, and then we went to, I think, did we get that? Oh no, and then we did We rope dropped Rock and Roller Coaster,
Uh-huh.
and then we were going to go on Tower of Terror, but the line at this point, like the non-resort guests were coming in, so the line for Tower of Terror was kind of halfway down Sunset. So I was like, nope, we're not doing that right now. And we had a lightning lane for that later in the day.
Okay.
So instead, we went over to Ronto Roasters, and we got ourselves a couple of the Ronto Roaster breakfast wraps because those are must for us every morning in Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
And those are just so good. And then after that, our friends were still in line for Slinky Dog Dash. So we decided to get in line for Smuggler's Run. And we did that at 9:25, and it was close to 35-minute wait, but it was almost an hour by the time we got on. And like my son doesn't really care for that ride. So he was a little moody by the end of the line for that. It's like, like when you're not the pilot of that, it's just like not the same. And, and so it was a young child piloting it, which is fine. Like, I'm glad that they're there to have fun, but it was just so bumpy, and my motion sickness was just kind of starting to get to me. So I was like, I was kind of like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have did that ride, but it was fine. We felt fine. And then after that, our friends had a fast pass for, a lightning lane for Muppets 3D. So we just kind of went to the same show as them. Okay. So we did that with them. And it was our first time kind of being with them for the day. So it was fine. We were like in that little pre area for about 15 minutes waiting for our show. Okay. So we were just kind of chatting with them. And then when we were done with that, it was time for our Tower of Terror lightning lane. So we had made our way back to Sunset Boulevard, and it looks like we scanned in for that at about 11:20, and then we were at the pre-show by 11:24 and boarded within 5 minutes. The line once you got to the boiler room for that was really fast.
Okay.
Because sometimes it's almost to the entrance area, but both areas, like the kind of breakup areas, both those lines were pretty short. Okay. So that was nice. And then when we got off of there, my son needed his sweet treat, so we got the Tower of Terror cookie, and right outside at the Joffrey stand, right outside of Tower of Terror. And we got a shaken Jamaican. That's one of our favorite iced coffees to get there. Oh yeah. So we enjoyed those while we were waiting for our next lightning lane. So I wrote, we had some time to waste. So we explored Galaxy's Edge, and we're kind of going in through like all the stalls and the shops. And then we had a lightning lane for Slinky Dog Dash. So we scanned in for that at 12:26, and we boarded that within 5 minutes. And so that was cute. And then before we did Slinky's, I placed a mobile order for Woody's Lunchbox. So we had that be ready for when we got out of there. And we ordered the tachos, which are one of our favorites, and the raspberry lunchbox tart. Yeah. And we were lucky enough, we found one little table left in there for us to stand at and kind of eat. So I love the tachos. Like, I make those at home all the time. I was really disappointed. There was like barely any chili in our portion. Aww. Like, I went on the app and I was like, did I order the vegetarian version of this? Because like there was no chili in it. Oh, and my son was like, it's fine. I'm hungry. I'm just eating it. So we ate it, and it was still delicious. I just kind of wish that there was a little more chili in there. Yeah. And we had the lunchbox tart was good. Those are a little sweet for my taste, but my son really enjoyed it, and I ate it.
Yeah. I have a question real quick about Woody's Lunchbox. Now, I haven't been back since they opened part of the like more seating or more like covered seating. Is it a lot bigger? Like area?
So right now it's still smaller because they haven't opened up the new part of it yet. Oh, okay. Because there was a sign saying limited seating. Please enjoy finding a spot in other parts of Toy Story Land. Oh, dang. And I noticed there was a lot of those high tables, like those high round tables, were kind of like scattered around, like in front of like the attractions. Okay. But we were lucky enough; we found like the one and only table that was in there. Okay. And we just stood there. I mean, we were only having like a little, sharing the tacos and lunchbox tart. So we weren't having a full meal or anything. So we were, for us, it was fine. We just stood there and ate. But it like people were like, standing, waiting for other people to kind of get off of their tables and stuff. So.
Yeah. I always wish, I'm glad they were expanding it. So it's actually, it's a good thing, but like, it's just never been big enough because that's a very, very popular place for people to eat. And it's the only quick service option, in the very in that area basically. So it's like, well, let's put some more chairs and tables around.
Yeah. So I am interested to see once they do open up the the new area.
Yeah.
And like everything in Toy Story Land is just so in the sun.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
I think it's a very well themed area, but I have a hard time staying in an area for a long period of time.
Oh,
just
yeah.
because you know, it was mid 80s. It's not hot for Florida, but it was still pretty hot there.
Oh, I remember when it first opened in 2018, and it opened in June. And I don't know if you went back then, but back then when it first opened, they didn't have any umbrellas out.
I know.
Oh my gosh, it was the surface of the sun, and like even the queue at Slinky wasn't as covered as it is now. And I'm like y'all, come on, we're in Florida.
I know. Yeah, I'm so glad now they have those umbrellas as you're waiting early in the morning for Slinky Dog. But I do remember before they had those.
Isn't that crazy?
Like, awful. Like Andy must have had some shade in his backyard. Like, didn't they have a gazebo or something?
Exactly. Andy's gazebo. Yeah, I do remember that from the movies. So.
Yeah, I would clearly hang out in Andy's gazebo.
Clearly, yes, absolutely. That's funny.
Yeah. So we enjoyed our lunch from Woody's Lunchbox there, and then after that, we had a fast pass for Toy Story Mania. So we did that, and you know, we got our competitive sides on.
Yes.
And I beat my son as usual. I think our final score was I had 141,000. I think he had 124,000.
Oh, dang! So you usually beat him?
Yes, I do. He was excited because the first 2 rounds he was ahead, and he's like, "I'm finally going to beat you." And then I was consistently beating him the next few rounds, so I did end up winning. My son's not very much of a video game kid or anything like that. So. So those even on when we did in Magic Kingdom, when we did the Buzz Lightyear ride, I usually win and he beat me this time, so he was finally.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So
nice.
But so we enjoyed our Toy Story Mania, and then at this point we were ready to meet back up with our friends, and because they were doing, I think they did the Indiana Jones Spectacular while we were there, and they had a fast pass for Smuggler's Run. So at this point we met up with them. And we were going to go do Rise of the Resistance. The posted wait time was 105 minutes.
Okay.
So, and I will usually not wait that long for a ride, but it was their first time going on it. And, I'm at Hollywood Studios. I have to go on Rise of the Resistance. So, and I didn't get the individual lightning lane because I feel like that ride's been here a couple of years. I don't really want to spend the additional money for a ILL.
Yeah.
So we just kind of waited it out, and it ended up only being an hour. So it really wasn't that bad. And it was we were with our friends, and we were doing nonstop chatting.
Right.
So it was really I didn't even feel like it was a full hour. So we did that, and they really enjoyed that. They have an 12-year-old son, so it was very cool for him to, when we went out and saw all the stormtroopers when you first come out of the first ship, and when we went into the interrogation area. Their son was not following directions at all. So it was good time, with the people who were interrogating us. It was highly entertaining. So we had fun with that. And then with them, we decided their son wanted to do Rock and Roller Coaster with my son. So we made our way back over to Sunset Boulevard. And it was a pretty decent wait. I want to say we probably waited about 45 minutes for it or so. And their son was wearing a Messier jersey, I think soccer player. I'm not really into the whole soccer world, but a cast member commented on his jersey, when we were leaving the boarding area, and they had asked for front row, so we kind of waited for a ride so they can get front row. So their son had an interaction with the cast member about his Messier jersey. So then after the ride, when we were getting off, he went around and told the cast member at the exit, hey, let these kids ride again. So they let my son and her son went around, and they got to ride again. And then us three, so that was fun. And then us 3 adults kind of just went outside and chatted while we waited for them. And then, and so we had also were able to make a lightning lane for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at the same time my friends were. So they had, theirs ended at 5:25 and ours started at 5:25.
Nice.
So at 5:20 we scanned in for that together. And I think we waited a little bit less than 10 minutes before we got to the pre-show room. And they were not running the pre-show, so it was just kind of walking through. And of all the pre-shows, I love that pre-show. I love the song, and it kind of gets me in the mood for it. So I was a little sad. But I just kind of sang the song to myself because I walked over into the rest of the queue. And then we were pretty much straight on a train. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
that was fun. I love that attraction. It's so cute inside.
Me
like
too.
I especially love like the dance scene, like Daisy's the dance class, and
yes,
how Donald is angry the whole ride. I really love that. So
Donald is
it's one of my
always
favorites.
angry.
Yes, and because my son is Donald, and like
Yeah.
he tends to get angry quite a bit. So
That's so
I'm like,
funny.
oh, just like my Donald.
That's cute.
And then at this point, our friends had Tower of Terror Lightning Lane.
Okay.
And again, my son was hangry, so we went over to the Rock and Roller Coaster area, and we went to that Pretzel Palooza stand, and he ordered one of each, the cheddar jalapeno pretzel and the sweet cream cheese pretzel.
Oh my
And like
gosh.
I had a couple of bites, but he ate those as we waited for them. And then we went over, then it was time for oh, and I got a Diet Coke because I needed some Diet Coke at that point. And then while we were waiting for them, we walked around a little bit, and we went over to like the Muppets courtyard area. We just sat at a table. I used the restroom, and then they texted us that they were done with Tower of Terror, and they were making their way over to the Brown Derby because we had a 6:50 reservation there.
Okay.
So I got there about 6:35, and I checked in, and they took us within a few minutes.
Okay.
So we were in the restaurant well before our like scheduled reservation time. We love the Brown Derby. It's like always like a must do for us when we're at Hollywood Studios. A lot of times we'll just go to the lounge area. You can order off the menu there. But it was nice to go inside and be in the air conditioning and have some, have a seat for a while.
Yeah.
My son and I always get the Cobb salad there. Like it's like
so good.
It's tradition. Like we go to Brown Derby, and we have to have the Cobb salad. So we always get that with shrimp. So we had that. My friend ordered the halibut, which she said was really good. Her husband had the Cobb salad with chicken, and then their son ordered. So I had listed him as an adult, like in the reservation, because he's 12. So we get there, and he looks at the menu. He's like, "This is really expensive." He goes to the waitress, "Can I just have a kids menu, please? Because like I don't even want half these foods." And I didn't know if they would, but she did. She gave him the kids menu, so he ordered mac and cheese. And
well, that was
I
nice.
think he ordered mac and cheese and mashed potatoes.
Well, sounds great.
Yeah, typical kid meal. But he's, and he had the chicken noodle soup, so he ate everything. He said it was good.
That's good.
And then when we were done there, and I love their bread and that salted the pink Himalaya salt butter that they give you.
Yes.
With their bread there is so good.
Yes.
And I had a cocktail. I think I had a Florida Collins there. And that was very tasty. It was refreshing with the lemon juice and the simple syrup. So that was really good. Nice. And then when we were done there, my friends were going to see Fantasmic to the 8:30 show. And like, I don't know, we've seen Fantasmic before. So my son we just wanted to get a few more rides in. So we kind of said bye to them there. And so they went to see a Fantasmic, and then we went. So we had a couple of fast passes left for the night. We had an Ailing Swirling Saucer one and a Rock and Roller Coaster one.
Okay.
So we went. So we started going towards Toy Story Land for our Ailing Swirling Saucer's Lightning Lane, and I think it was about 15 minutes before we could check in. And Donald was checking the app for the wait times. He's like, "Ma, Tower of Terror is only like 25-minute wait. Like, could we go to Tower of Terror, do that, and then come back for like the tail end of our Lightning Lane for Ailing Swirling Saucers, and then we'll be able to do Rock and Roller Coaster Lightning Lane, and then maybe if we have time, we'll do Tower of Terror again." And like, I'm always up for whatever at Disney. I was like, sure. So we stopped, we turned around, we went back to Sunset Boulevard, we did Tower of Terror, and like it was not even the 25 minutes. Like maybe we waited 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So we did that, and I love doing it at night because I love when those doors open and you can see Toy Story Land and like all lit up.
Yeah.
And so it's just, to me, that's priceless. So it was well worth like the steps going back there and doing that. Then we hustled back over to Toy Story Land, and we did Ailing Swirling Saucers. And like, I know it's so cheesy, but it's so fun. Like, I love being whipped around and like the fun music. And so we always take like a video of us while we're on there, just like whipping around. So
yeah,
that was fun. And then we made our way back to Sunset, and we got back into Rock and Roller Coaster really quickly with our Lightning Lane. But like as soon as we were making our way from like the studio to the garage area, like it stopped running. Like they were having a hiccup with it. So we were kind of held in that area probably for like a good 5 minutes before we were able to like enter into the garage. So by the time we did our last ride of there, it was too late to go back in line for the Tower of Terror, but it was fine because we had already did it. I think we did it twice that day already.
Oh,
And
okay.
like I was done for the day.
You're like, I'm
So, and I
good.
think, yeah, on Wednesday, I think I had 31,000 steps. So like, I was
Goodness
like, okay,
gracious.
I am ready to go back to our resort. So we did. We went back to the bus and we went to our resort, and then when we got to the resort, we stopped at the gift shop because my son, I wanted some Aleve because like my backs and knees and every part of my body was starting to hurt me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need some Aleve, and he got himself a shirt for the next day.
Nice.
And then we went back to the room, took our showers, and kind of, crashed for the night.
Melted
And
into your
then,
bed.
so yeah, pretty much. And then so the next day was our Magic Kingdom day, and it was so weird for us to have been at Disney for like 3 days already and not made it to Magic Kingdom once, because like we usually do park hoppers, and like we always try to get into Magic Kingdom on our first day. So it was really weird for us. Like, and we kept saying that through the trip, like, I can't believe we haven't been to Magic Kingdom yet. Like, I can't believe we haven't been to Magic Kingdom yet. So we were very excited for our final Magic Kingdom day.
That's fun.
What
time did you start it?
So it opened at 7:30 for extra magic hours.
Oh, okay.
And my plan was to get up at 5:30 and like be on the bus by like 6:45, but it was 6:10 when my son woke me up that morning. He's like, "Mom, we gotta go to Magic Kingdom."
Oh.
I like quick jumped out of bed, took a quick shower. I did not even make coffee that morning. Like, we just kind of got dressed as fast as we could and went to made our way over to Magic Kingdom. We got on the bus a little after 7. We were at Magic Kingdom by 7:20. So like the ticketing area was so busy. I was like, oh my goodness, like this is going to be our busiest day yet. And it definitely was our busiest day. Yeah. But we got through security, we scanned our Magic bands, and our initial plan was to rope drop Tron. But I didn't realize that Tron didn't open up until 8, when everything else, like the rest of the early options, were 7:30. Yeah. So and we had an 8:10 Tiana's Lightning Lane. So I didn't kind of want to. So we decided we would rope drop Space Mountain because like everybody was going to Tron. So we're like, well, let's just do Space Mountain now because we didn't have a Lightning Lane for that. Yeah. And then so we did Space Mountain, and like maybe we waited like 7 minutes for it. It was pretty quick. And then we walked the Tron area because it would have been just about opening up at that point. And they said it was about an hour. And I was like, I don't want to miss our Lightning Lane for Tiana. So we decided, like, our plan was, like, we would either try to see if I could buy an ILL for Tron throughout the day to see if it came available. Otherwise, we would have just made it our last ride of the day, which is what we ended up doing. Gotcha. Okay. So we started to walk towards Frontierland so that we can go on Tiana's. And like I said, I didn't have any coffee at that point yet in the day. So we were walking out of Tomorrowland, and we stopped at that Cool Ship, like the popcorn kiosk that they have there. And like the cast member working, he was like standing outside of it. So I was like, "Are you open yet?" He's like, "Yeah, come on in." So I went up to the counter. I was like, "I just need a Diet Coke." I was like, "I haven't had my coffee yet." So, and it was like, I didn't realize it was fountain Diet Coke. I thought it was just like bottled. And so I got excited when it was the fountain. I was like, "Oh!" I was like, "You have fountain soda? That's even better." So he was, laughing at me. So he's like, "Can I get anything else too?" I was like, "No, I really just need the caffeine for a pick me up." He's like, "Well, you're my first customer of the day, so whatever you get is on Mickey. So can I offer you some popcorn?" I was like, "Well, if it's on Mickey, of course I will take some popcorn."
Oh my gosh,
so
that was
he
so
gave
nice.
me like a box of popcorn and my soda, and so I handed the popcorn to my son. I was like, "Oh, look, here you go, Donald, popcorn for breakfast." So he was like, "No, you need popcorn too." So he got like a cup, like a water cup, and he filled it with popcorn for me. He was so nice. And I gave him I went on the app right away, and I gave him a cast compliment because like our experience, like I have immense respect for cast members. Like I could never, like I love Disney. I could never work in the Disney parks with the public. But like it was so nice to see him like being so kind, because some of the cast members were just not like into their jobs this week. I mean, I even heard one of the cast members on Pirates of the Caribbean say to her coworker, like, "This is the day I quit."
Oh,
like,
no. Are you
I was
serious?
Like, "I'm sure your job is horrible this week, but like, don't say that in front of the kids."
Oh my gosh! To hear a cast member say that is,
I know, and like it's heartbreaking for me because like I know they probably went into that job with so much love and excitement, and just dealing with the public is just like draining. Like I totally get that,
Yeah.
But I just wish that so many more of the cast members had that like magic in them.
Yeah.
I just feel like that level just still isn't there. So like the few times that I had like really positive interactions with cast members, I went right on and made a cast compliment for them.
Good.
Because I was like, these are the cast members that are doing like they're providing me with that Disney magic.
Yes.
So
yes.
So I ended up doing 3 cast compliments all in the same day, all in my Magic Kingdom day.
Oh, nice.
Just because like when I found like somebody being happy and like upbeat, I was like, yay!
See, you were such a preschool teacher.
Yes, I am.
Yay!
Yay, you get a sticker.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, I'm glad you got the free stuff. I mean, that's so nice.
So that was exciting.
Yeah, for sure. So what'd you do after that?
So we made our way over to Frontierland for our Tiana's Lightning Lane. So that was pretty much just a walk on. We got front row, so we were absolutely stoked.
Oh gosh,
when we were done with that. So that was fun. And then and I love that ride. Like I know like a lot of people don't enjoy like the new version, but like I love the music from Princess and the Frog. Is probably like Tiana's one of my favorite princesses. Because I love cooking, so like Tiana's the cook. So like I like her and Belle are probably my 2 favorite princesses. So like I just love that ride. I love the music. I think it's so cute.
It's cute.
So we had a good time with that, and then at that point Donald was hungry again. So he wanted the fruit and Nutella waffle from Sleepy Hollow. So I mobile ordered that, and so that was our first time having like the new version of that.
How was that?
Like, changed the waffle base. I was not thrilled with it. It was good. Like it was tasty. The flavor was there. But like the waffle was like very chewy and soggy, not like that, that thick dent, like that nice crisp waffle that it used to be with like the Belgian waffle.
Yeah.
So like I'm not sure that we'll be getting that on our future trips, but I mean it filled the need for my son and his need for like a quick sweet meal. So then after we finished up at Sleepy Hollow, we went to Fantasyland and we did Little Mermaid. It was a posted 5-minute wait, but we walked right onto that. And when we were done with that, we were like kind of on the app to see what like the wait times were while we were waiting for our next Lightning Lane. And Buzz was only a 5-minute wait, so we went back to Tomorrowland.
Okay.
We went on that. And like I said, my son beat me by about 20,000 points, so he was very excited. Then it was time for our Pirates Lightning Lane.
Okay.
So we made our way back over to Adventureland.
You were zigzagging quite a bit.
Yes. Zigzagging, crisscrossing. Like we did the whole park back and forth.
Yes.
And like my son is the only person like we can put up with that for each other. Like we don't mind going back and forth. Like when we go, like if I'm there with my mom, like I will definitely I will try to stay in one area of the park the whole day. Even when my husband comes, like I try to plan it so that we're like more in one spot of the day.
Yeah.
But like with my son and I, like we're walkers all the time. Like he does 6-mile walks with our dog during the week. I walk on my lunch break every day. So like we're walkers. Like we walk a trail near our house every day.
Oh,
so like it's like all the walking doesn't really bother us.
Yeah.
But so like I definitely have to know my audience and like who I'm with to like see how much walking we could do. But Donald, he's a trooper. He does it with me.
That's cool.
So yes, we crisscrossed our way to Adventureland and we did Pirates. And then after that, we were kind of everything was a long wait at this time, and we had another hour till our next Lightning Lane.
Okay.
So we went over to the Emporium. I was looking at the ears. I had seen a set of ears in Epcot, and I really just should have bought them, but I had already bought the 3 Caballero ears that day. But they were so cool. They were like they had a castle on them, and they were fireworks.
Yes.
Like the Cinderella Castle and the fireworks, and I could not find them anywhere else.
I
think I saw them in the American Pavilion in Epcot, and like I was kicking myself that I didn't buy them. So I was looking for those ears, and we were looking for stuff for the pets again, but like I didn't find anything there.
Okay.
So then we went over to Memento Mori. My son, like the Haunted Mansion, Donald's favorite ride, so we went to see if he could pick up anything in there. I saw a really cute like quarter zip pullover, but like I just didn't want to carry it around with me for the rest of the day.
Right.
So I didn't get it. And then all that shopping made Donald hungry again. So I ordered him a sausage, egg, and cheese bagel from the Friar's Nook.
Okay.
And when I picked that up, I was pleasantly surprised to see it came with like a side of tater tots. So he ate the sandwich, I ate the tater tots. As we made our way back to Liberty Square because we had a Haunted Mansion Lightning Lane.
Okay.
So we did that, and then we were trying to decide which to next. Donald decided he was too tired to go on without any caffeine. So we made our way to the main street to hit up the Starbucks there.
Okay.
The line was so long. I was like, I can't believe I'm waiting in this long line at Starbucks. I think we made it up to the counter in about 10 minutes. We
Okay.
each got a drink. And then we went and we actually just took it and we went to the Hub Grass and we sat and we like just enjoyed our beverages there.
Oh,
Took some pictures.
I was hoping you'd
And,
say
like,
that because I love a little hub grass chilling. Like
yeah,
chill
and
time.
it's like something that we never do, like take the time out to do that.
Yeah.
But we also knew we had a 16-hour day at the Magic Kingdom that day. So like I was like, yeah, we can sit a little and
We could
just
sit.
take some time. So and that was so fun. And like we were just talking. So it was like
Yeah.
ended up probably being one of like the coolest like little parts of our trip.
Aw.
So that was nice. And then like I said, the lines were all busy. I mean, even like and like the Lightning Lane selections were not till like the end of the day.
Yeah.
So we went over and did the Country Bear Jamboree.
Okay.
Which I love. I love the old version, but I also love the new version. Like,
Uh-huh.
And my son would always be so mortified by the original version. He'd be like, "Ma, I can't believe
I
you
mean,
want to listen to this."
Some of
But
those
it was
songs.
funny. Like
Yeah.
it was. I would just die laughing. Like to hear like Disney is the blood on the whatever. it
Roll on the
was.
saddle.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Like
terrible.
So I would just die, and I would love to bring people to that just to see their reactions.
Yeah.
Like, but the new one is super cute. Like I love singing along to all the Disney songs, so
Yeah.
it's nice to have that new version.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but when we got out of there, like park was crowded, lines were long. We were getting overwhelmed, so we decided to take a walk over to the Grand Floridian, and we wanted to see some of the Easter eggs that were there. And so the Grand Floridian at the Gasparilla Island Grill, they have like this chocolate chip cookie that we have a recipe for, like we found it on Pinterest.
Uh-huh.
And during COVID, my son started making these cookies, and like they're so amazingly delicious. Like the recipe is just a little bit different than like your traditional Toll House cookie. Like it's powdered sugar instead of regular sugar.
Uh-huh.
A little bit different of the butter amount, but it is a delicious chocolate chip cookie. And like
Okay.
whenever we have to go to like an occasion, my son makes that cookie. Like it's our go-to thing. Like he's always like, I'll make the Grand Floridian chocolate chip cookies to bring. So we went
Wow.
there so we could try their version of it. So we had that cookie. It
Uh-huh.
was very good. So my son doesn't put like the nuts in it. They had nuts in it. But
Ah.
like I prefer more chocolate than like the chocolate in the nuts. So we usually put extra chocolate chips in ours. But it was very tasty. So we
That's
had
good.
that, and then we checked out the eggs. We went into their shop.
Uh-huh.
Because I was looking for those ears that I had seen with the castle and the fireworks on them, but no luck there.
No
And
luck.
then we took a walk over to the Poly
Uh-huh.
because we wanted to have lunch at Captain Cook's. We love the pulled pork nachos that they have there, so we wanted to have those, and we also
Yes.
ordered the Hawaiian flatbread.
Oh, yum.
So they were both pretty good.
Good.
And then so I actually paid my second cast compliment to Maggie in Captain Cook's. She was there like refilling like the utensils and stuff. And so I had gone in to like refill our soda and grab some like forks and knives. And she was like filling the station. So I was like giving her a minute. Like I didn't want to interrupt her from doing her job.
Right.
And she felt me over her shoulder, and she's like, "Oh, like," she's like, "Do you need something?" I was like, "Yeah, but like, go ahead, finish. Like, I didn't want to interrupt you." She's like, "Please interrupt me." She's like, "If it wasn't for people like you, I wouldn't have a job. So like, please
Aw.
interrupt me to get whatever you need from me." And this was like after like hearing like the Pirates cast member being so like negative. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're so nice." And she looked like in my preschool, we go to our local library, and she looked just like the children's librarian that we go to. So like, I already felt like a connection to her.
That
I was
is so
"Oh,"
cute.
so I gave her a cast compliment just for like just being so positive and
Aw.
like appreciative, like as much as I appreciated her, she appreciates me. Because
Yeah.
to me, Kat, like I am always so kind to cast members. We're always thanking them because, like I said, I love Disney, and I think I would love to work at Disney, but I would never work like on an attraction or like in the parks because
Uh-huh.
like I could
It's a
see like
lot.
how draining it could be. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. I'm sure like, my mom always said that she would want to work at Disney. Like if we lived closer, she might
Uh-huh.
want to work there. And but my stepmom, it's actually Jared's stepmom. She was she worked at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique at Grand Floridian before
Okay.
COVID, and she just loved that job. She loved it because it was like everyone was so excited to like come in and get their hair done, their makeup done. And it was just it was less stressful than like being in the parks. So I could totally see that being better as if like you work at one of the hotels or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For sure. Yeah. That's like such a specialty. And like, really she's dealing mostly with kids, and kids are way cooler than adults are. So,
I mean,
like I could see. Well, like I guess as a preschool teacher, like, you know, I could never work like an office job and work with all adults because like as a preschool teacher, the kids are the coolest part of my job. And like the adults and the parents are kind of like the trickier part of my job.
Yes.
So I could see how working with kids and like making a little kid all excited to be dressed up as Cinderella or whoever they're dressed up as, like I could see how that could be very rewarding.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's great.
So we had a great lunch there over at Captain Cook's. And then we visited a couple of their shops, and then we took the monorail back to the Magic Kingdom. Okay. Once we were back in the Magic Kingdom, we went to Tomorrowland and we went on the Carousel of Progress because that's always a must-do for us. We did both kind of close our eyes for a few minutes, but I was listening to the presentation. And then after that, we hopped in line for the People Mover, and it was listed as like a 25-minute wait, but I think we were on in less than 7 minutes.
Oh, good.
So we did that, and then I love People Mover, and I just love like the views of the park while we're on there. Then after that, we went over to Fantasyland. And first we did the teacups, and like I never do the teacups. I think the only other time I remember doing the teacups was one year, I think 2018, we went for the Halloween party, and I only did it because like the music was different, I think, on it, and like the whole like But like I said to my son, like I'll do it, but please just don't spin it. So he didn't spin it. Well, he started to, but I was like, I will puke on you. So he stopped spinning, and we enjoyed the rest of the ride. And I think that was listed at like a 25-minute wait, but we were on that in less than 10 minutes. Then we went in line for Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. That was listed as 35, and I think we waited about 45 minutes for that.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like we always have really bad luck in that line, like if we do standby for that.
Yeah.
Like Lightning Lane, it's easy, but I always feel like whenever we've waited standby for that ride, like there's always some kind, like it always takes longer, or so. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I love that ride. Like, I think it's so cute. I love the music in it, and so we did that, and then after that we went and we did Mickey's PhilharMagic. I love that show, and then when we were done with that, we had a Lightning Lane for It's a Small World, and that was a very long line. I think it was 35-minute wait standby, and we actually had to wait about 10 minutes before we like were able to get into our boat.
Okay.
So I thought that was kind of long for a Small World. After that, So after that, we needed a little sugar to pick us up. So we stopped and we stopped at the ice cream cart outside of the Pinocchio Village house. And Donald got a Mickey ice cream sandwich, and I had gotten one of those frozen lemonade cups. And we munched on those as we went, made our way to like the New Fantasyland, the Dumbo section. So because we had a Lightning Lane for Dumbo.
Okay.
So we kind of just sat outside there, finished our treats, went into like the Big Top gift shop as we waited for our time to check in, and then so we scanned into that, had fun on Dumbo, and then while we were on Dumbo, my son told me that he was hungry, so I placed a mobile order for Columbia Harbor House, and like we knew that this was probably like one of the last times we had to eat because we were planning on being at Magic Kingdom till it closed, and our bus for Mears was coming to pick us up at 2:35 a.m.
Oh,
so
gosh.
like I knew like we were the resort. The food court would be closed by the time we got back to Magic Kingdom. So I was like, let's eat dinner now, put something in our stomach. So he had the chicken finger platter, and I had the fried fish platter. They were both good. And I upgraded my fries to those garlic truffle Parmesan fries.
Ooh.
Those were delicious. So, and after my son was like, man, I wish I upgraded mine. I was like, I told you to, but like, I was not that hungry at that point. So I had a couple, and then he finished them for me.
Okay.
And, you know, he said the chicken fingers were exactly what you would expect. After that, we had a Lightning Lane for Jungle Cruise, and our skipper was awesome. Her name was Leah. I gave her a cast compliment as well.
Oh, good.
She was really funny, and like there was some guests on there that were just not following directions. Like they had their feet up in the middle with their shoes off, and she kept saying like, all right, friends, I need you to put your feet down. Shoes must be on at all times. I'm like, oh, I'm just like at work. And then like the kids were standing, and she kept having to ask them to put like just sit down. So I felt really bad for her because I'm like, this poor girl's just trying to do her job. Like
Yeah.
she's being so funny, and you people are not following directions. Just follow directions.
Yeah.
So I gave her a cast compliment for like her fun and witty humor, and like she was staying cool with all the stuff that was going around her. And then after that, we saw the Haunted Mansion had like a 35-minute wait time, so we hopped in line for that.
Uh-huh.
It was actually ended up being about 45-minute wait time, so
Ooh.
I mean it was fine. It was the line was very busy. There was a lot going on in that line.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness, I am getting overwhelmed. Just like get me through this.
Yeah.
So we did that, and when we got off of there, we saw that Seven Dwarfs Mine Train had only a 55-minute wait, and that was the lowest that we saw that day. And
Okay.
our plan was like usually we always do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train as our last ride of the day, but because we wanted Tron to be our last ride of the day, we didn't know if we do Seven Dwarfs.
Right.
So Donald was like, "It's at 55 minutes. Like we don't have another lightning lane for an hour and a half. Like you want to do this?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." I was like, "We don't have anything else to do." So we got in line at 8:35, and it was only a 30-minute wait.
Oh,
And
okay.
the most awesome part was like, so we loaded and we're going, and like by now the fireworks are starting, and like as we come out of the mountain and go down, the fireworks are going off above us.
Oh, you
was
timed it just right.
Was awesome. It was so
Yes.
awesome. My son looks over at me. He goes, "Mom, this is a core memory." He's like, "I am going to remember this for the rest of my life." And it was just amazing. Like the whole time we're on the ride, like fireworks are just going off around us. And like even like in the ride photo where they take your picture, like in our picture, we're looking up at the sky with our mouths open, like looking at the fireworks.
Oh, that is
Like it was
so cute.
so cool. So that was amazing.
So you didn't mean to do that though. That's just a happy
no,
accident.
I wasn't
Oh my
even
gosh.
thinking. Yeah, it was just a happy accident.
I
Like I
love
wasn't really
that.
paying attention to the time.
Uh-huh.
And then like, but it just like it was so cool. Like as we came out of the mountain, like a big red and a big white firework were just above us. It was so cool.
Oh, yay.
And they were still going off. Like so, we got off the ride and we had a lightning lane for Little Mermaid, so we were heading down there.
Uh-huh.
And as we're walking, and like the Beast Castle is on our left, fireworks were going off behind that.
Uh-huh.
So like I had never seen like fireworks in that area, so I didn't know like you can see like some of them behind Beast Castle, like at Be Our Guest.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was so cool because like you know like how it's the Force Perceptive Castle, and like I always feel like it looks really small. Like I don't think that Disney did a great job like with their Force perception of that castle.
Yeah.
So
it looks
was
tiny.
Like, it was humorous. It was humorous to see this little castle with these big fireworks behind it. But it was so cute. I was so mad because my phone was in my backpack from the ride, so I didn't have enough time to like take it out to take pictures of it.
Oh, okay.
But it was super cute to see it, and so that was nice. Like the fireworks were going off all around us while we were walking further into Fantasyland to get to Little Mermaid. So we did that, and then after I finished my notes, but I think after that we had Lightning Lane for the Magic Carpets of Aladdin. So we went and did that, and then we had a lightning. And then when we were done with that, we went to Tron. And
and what was the
guideline for Tron? It was posted at 95 minutes, and we waited 35 minutes.
Whoa, that's quite a
like,
difference.
That line was moving and moving.
Wow.
Like, and my Donald said, he's like, "Mom, why do they say it's 95 minutes if it's not?" I was like, well, at this time of the day, like I'm sure a lot of them just want to get home, right? So I feel like they might inflate them a little bit at the end of the night just to like deter people from getting in line.
What are you talking about? They would never like that.
No, never. But it was great. We ended the night with Tron, and so we ended basically our vacation with Tron. On our way back through, we stopped and got. Oh no, I'm sorry. Before Tron, we stopped and he got a vanilla milkshake at Auntie Gravity's in like the little ice cream shop there in Tomorrowland. Oh, because we had tried to place a mobile order when we got out of line for. I think when we were done with the Aladdin's Magic Carpet, we were on our way back, and he's like, "I really want a stuffed cream cheese pretzel," so I placed a mobile order at the lunching pad
Uh-huh.
And like we were running to get there, and at 10 o'clock I got the thing like, oh, your order has been canceled, and we didn't get there until like 10:01, so it was too late for him to get his sweet cream cheese pretzel. Luckily, we had already had it at Hollywood Studios, but so he had ended up getting like a vanilla milkshake to hold him over.
Gotcha.
Because clearly he had not had enough sweet treats for the day.
Listen, he's a growing boy. He's a growing boy.
Yes, he is. He is. So then after Tron, we went over into the Emporium because I had a couple, like I wanted to buy something for my husband, and I have a brand new baby cousin, so I wanted to get a little something for him. And we bought Donald bought a Rice Krispie treat while we were there, and he munched on that on our way to the bus. And then I think that was like the longest wait we had for a bus was like leaving Magic Kingdom. Maybe we waited about 10 minutes for a bus.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, it wasn't bad at all. We got back to the room. I took a shower, and like I had not packed like one thing yet to go back home. So like he got into bed. He was like, "Mom, I can't do this right now." So I was like, "That's fine." So I kind of packed up for us. And then I woke him up. I was like, you need to at least brush your teeth and like get dressed. So like I could pack whatever it is you're not wearing back. And so he did. Like he got up, he washed up. We finished packing up, and then we made our way. Like I think I had 20 minutes. I sat on the bed while we were waiting to head down to catch our Mears bus. We left our room probably at 2:15 because the email said to be there about 15 minutes early. We got there at like 2:20, and like we were sitting there momentarily before like the Mears bus pulled up. Okay. And then that was it. It brought us back to the airport, and everything at the airport went off without a hitch, and we were back home in Connecticut by 9 o'clock on Friday morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. You're basically flying just in the middle of the night. Like if you think about it. I mean,
yeah, and both ways, because we went there in the middle of the night and we got home in the middle of the night. But I will tell you, the airports were great at that time because we had zero wait at TSA. Like we walked in, like both in Hartford to go to Orlando, and then in Orlando to come back to Hartford. Like it was a breeze. The flights were both very smooth. We had, nobody was in the row with us on our way down. And then on our way home, I had never seen this on the JetBlue flights we've done before, but it was only a 2-seat row. And then there was like a seat for one of those flight attendants was next to us, like was facing backwards. Oh. So she was only there a little bit of the time, and I slept the entire flight home. Yeah, like, as soon as my body hit that seat, I was out. And like I woke like 20 minutes before we, landed in Hartford.
Wow. I'm sure you were exhausted.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh god!
And then I came home Friday, and I kind of took like a 4-hour nap. Like,
yeah, you did.
We got home. We stopped for breakfast. I got home. I said hi to my husband, hi to the pets, and I was like, "Sorry, folks. Like, I'll see you in a little while." And I just kind of went upstairs and took like a good 4-hour nap before I was ready to emerge for like the rest of the day.
I mean, you need it. You needed it for sure. Did you calculate how many steps you took for the whole trip, or did you?
I didn't calculate it, but so Monday was 37,000, Tuesday was 41,000, Wednesday was 31,000, and Thursday was 37,000. And I walked at 15 miles one day, 16.88, 12.75, and 15.5.
Oh my gosh. I'm exhausted listening to you talk about your day.
This is why I can't get people to come to Disney with me.
No, that's the thing. Like you even said at the beginning of this, you were like, this was rides. It's all about riding rides with my son. And like that was your goal, and you guys did a great job. How many times had you been to Disney before this one?
I don't know, more than 20. I mean, I've been going since I was a kid.
Okay.
And so I went a few times as a kid. We never stayed on site when I was a kid. It was always off site, or my grandparents were like snowbirds in Florida. So when we would go to visit them, like at Christmas or like for February break, we would go for a couple of days. Yeah. My first like on site visit was my honeymoon. So in 1999, my husband and I stayed at Port Orleans French Quarter. And then I did a couple of more off site trips. And then in 2009, I brought Donald for the first time. Yeah. And that was like a big family trip. My parents, my brother and sister, we all went, and we stayed at a condo offsite. And then the first time I brought Donald to Disney, I was like, I have to come here all the time. Like I love Disney, but like once I saw it, like with my son, and he was 3 for his first trip, like like I just knew like this is what I'm going to do all the time. And ever since then, like we've been taking as many trips as we could. And so he's 19 and he said that this was his 17th trip.
Wow.
And we also did like a year and like a couple of years of only Universal. So when he was super into Harry Potter, like 2016, 2017, we were focusing on Universal.
Yeah.
But then like kind of as he grew out of Harry Potter, he was back to like, I want to go to Disney. So.
Oh, that's so cute.
So we do Disney a lot. We try to get there as much as we can, even just for short trips. Like I said, like being a teacher, like it's draining. So I love my job. I love what I do, but like I also love to refresh myself with some Disney magic.
I like you're like, you know what? I need to recharge by walking 15 miles every day of my vacation, and then I'll be ready.
Yes, so I'm well rested now to go back to work. Clearly,
right. Well, at least you got to sleep a little bit yesterday.
Yes.
So, is there anything that you wanted to do but didn't get to do while you were there?
I didn't really have high expectations for this trip as far as like doing a lot of things besides like the rides and being in the parks.
Yeah.
One thing, I didn't get to go to Baseline Tap House, which I do try to do every trip, so I didn't do that. But like I had an amazing day at Hollywood Studios anyway, so it's not like I missed it. But like I kind of wish I just got to do that. I do love their pretzel and their charcuterie board. But like no, I mean it was great, just what we did. I wish I bought those ears the first time I saw them in Epcot. I think that's my only regret of the trip.
It's just the ears.
But other than that, like this trip was exactly what I needed it to be. I had fun with my son. Like it was a good bonding experience for us. It was great to see my friend from high school because like we see each other a couple of times a year. And it's always just like us going out with our two other friends from high school. But to be with our families, that was nice too, to like hang out with her son because I hadn't seen him in a few years. And to hang out with her husband. He's another like a fellow musician. So we were able to talk music and stuff. So that was nice. I had a really great day with them. That was probably the highlight of the trip.
Well, I was going to ask you, what was your best part of the trip? So it was probably that.
Yeah, it was definitely that. And then just like being with my son doing our Disney like chaos together. Like we truly are two peas in a Disney pod. And I hope that he never outgrows like going to Disney with me. Like even when he's married, I hope that like, you know, he's still like wanting to take dear old mom with him.
I mean, it sounds like he, you know, when he was more Universal, that was years ago, and now he's back to Disney. So you may be in the clear there. You may be set up for Disney for life.
We're hoping to like. I really want to get like an annual pass because I love these like short trips. But like the tickets are expensive. So like if I can find a good flight and a cheap hotel room, that's great. But then like the ticket prices are so expensive. So my next Disney goal is to get myself an annual pass so I can do more of these short trips.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, having an annual pass is great. You can save a lot of money. So one thing I noticed, and this is not like a big deal, but just curious, are you guys not into meeting characters?
So Donald is really not into meeting characters.
Gotcha.
When he was little, we would do it. Like when he was 9 in 2014 when we went, or I'm sorry, he was 8. Like his thing was the princesses. Like he had to meet every princess. We did that. But like we'll walk by like the character meet and greets, and I'll be like, "Come on, don't you want to go meet so and so?" And he's like, "No. Come on, let's just go to the next ride." So he's more into like the rides at this point.
That's fair.
Like when we went in the summer, like he humored me and we met Figment, but like he gets really like shy. Like I'm not shy, but like we go up to them, he's like, "Mom, I don't know what to say to these characters. Like they don't talk back." So like,
it is kind of awkward.
I think he feels I think he feels awkward with it, and he would just rather be like, you know, experiencing the rides and the food and all of that. So
right. You know, it's funny. This is kind of relating to that. So we met the Easter Bunny. A couple days ago with our kids. My kids are 8 and 5, and I told my daughter, I was like, "Listen, he's not going to do anything. Like the Easter Bunny is not going to interact with you. You don't have to say anything to him. Just sit next to him so you can get a picture." She's like, "Got it." I was like, "Good." And so I was like, "This is not Disney where they're going to interact with you and try to mime out what they're saying. No, they're just going to sit there." So I get it. It is kind of awkward if you're just like you're not sure what to do or you're not sure what they're trying to say to you. And like sometimes I know like the cast members that are like their helpers or whatever are trying to like interpret sometimes for you. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but
yes, I have.
Yeah, and so like I like that part, but yeah, characters aren't for everybody. I mean, Jared doesn't like characters, but I make him do it.
Yeah. So like I think like when I'm with my mom or something, like she'll humor me and we'll wait in line for characters, or like if I bring my younger nephew, like he's 9, so like we'll do characters with him.
Yeah,
but, just Donald and I. He's like, no, I'm good for the characters.
So when are you going back again? You said this summer.
So I'm hoping that we'll go this summer. I am working like summer. Where I work, we have a summer program. So we have a couple of weeks off in between. So either the end of August, I think, is when we'll go. Because like, I have 2 weeks off in June, but like we kind of just went. So I think I'll wait till the end of August. Disney has some great deals right now for the summer.
Yeah.
So I want to take advantage of that. And I'm hoping that it's that week right before school starts. So I'm kind of hoping like, fingers crossed, like no hurricanes, and I'm hoping that it won't be as busy. So it was nice this time to like not be sweltering.
Yeah.
But April break is no joke as far as crowds go.
Well, and also when you go in August, or if you get to go in August, don't forget to take advantage if you can of that water park entry.
Yes, I really wish that our flights were a little bit different this time, but because like the cost of the flights too for April vacation, like I saved $300 a person by flying at night as opposed to flying in the morning.
Right. So, and that's how they get you.
Yeah.
Like, you want to save money, you're going to fly at 3 a.m. Like, okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do it.
Right.
Anything for Mickey Mouse.
Right. Well, I would love to see any pictures or videos you took of your trip. So if you wouldn't mind posting about those, post those in the Facebook group. That would be great. Is there anything else you did or saw or whatever on your trip you want to mention?
I don't think so. I think I pretty much talked about. I think I covered everything. No, I mean it was just great. I was like I said, I was really pleasantly surprised with the value resorts, and I think that whenever it's just like my son and I we will definitely do value resorts from now on.
Yeah.
And like save spending the extra money for when I have like my mom with me or my husband.
Yeah.
But definitely like for just the two of us, like perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And I kind of wish I realized that sooner. But, hey, you live and you learn, and now I know. Good.
I would recommend Pop Century.
Yes, I think that's the one that we would like to do next, just so we could be on the Skyliner.
Yes, I mean it's. I know some people don't like the Skyliner, and I sometimes like it's kind of tedious with like strollers, or if you have like a ECV or something. But I just can't. You just can't deny like how nice it is just to be able to like hop on the Skyliner and go to Epcot or Hollywood Studios, and you don't have to deal with the buses and. So
definitely. Yeah,
for sure. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for being my guest. This was such a cool trip to listen to because I love how different all me trips are, because this one's so ride focused. And then you have some other people that are like, let's eat at all of these table service restaurants, or let's do all this like extra stuff outside of the parks. And so, I love this. And I love that you still get to bring your son, even though he's, an older teen and everything, he still loves it. So that's great.
Yeah. It's excellent.
I loved it. So
well, thank you so much for having me. Like I said, I love listening to your podcast, so it's very awesome to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, it was great. So I really appreciate you being on. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this trip report from Karen about her vacation with her son. If you'd like to see more about her trip, make sure to join the Facebook group, Capture the Magic Community, and she will post pictures and video from her trip. And this is a great way to match a voice to the face, which is what I like to do because I'm a visual learner. Anyway, you can also follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, X, TikTok, all Cap the Magic. We've got two YouTube channels now. One is Jared's long form channel where he talks about news, issues, debates about Disney, Universal, theme parks in general, stuff like that. And that's Cap the Magic over on YouTube. And if you want to catch video versions of the Thursday Disney podcast or the Monday Universal podcast we do every week, that is CTM podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and subscribe on whatever podcast platform you are listening on. And finally, we've got some cool merch. CTMapparelco.com is a place to get some really cool tees and tanks, sweatshirts, hats, And we got some new designs coming up that are focused on Epic Universe. So if you've got an Epic trip planned for this summer or beyond or whatever, we're going to have some new designs from basically all of the lands. There's going to be an option for that. So look on there. We've got some of their existing designs from Universal and from Disney. And again, ctmapparelco.com is where to get those. So thank you again to my guest, Karen, for being on the show. And thank you out there in the podcast world for listening to this episode. And as I always like to say, we will see you in the parks.